Hello and welcome to this alternate preview of La Vuelta 2022 with me, frog in the throat, Chris Pritchard. What makes it alternative, you ask? Well, first off, I'm wearing a bath towel. I'm not even dressed. Who cares? Anyway, in this video, I'm going to bring you all the pointless information and thoughtless opinions on what's said to be the Maurice Gibb of the Grand Tours. You know what I'm talking about. You've been to see the Bee Gees. You're backstage. But unfortunately, Robin and Barry both been taken. I'm not going home empty-handed without a Bee Gee. Maurice, get in the car. And that's just like La Vuelta. Ideally, you want the Tour de France, but you'll make do with the Giro if need be. But lo and behold, if you get to the end of the season and you haven't won a Grand Tour, pack your bags, you're going to Spain. They must feel the condescending pats on their back. They must appreciate the likes on Instagram. Well done, Primoz, you've won it again. Well, you didn't win the Tour, but well done. You got La Vuelta. Well done, pal. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into all the juicy stats of the 77th edition of La Vuelta. What better place to start this video than the Parkour? Starting in the Netherlands. Hold on, why are we starting in the Netherlands? I don't get this. I mean, granted, when the Tour de France started in Yorkshire, it was the greatest thing ever. It was the best thing ever. But I don't get this. Obviously, it's money. But why are we starting a race when we're touring Spain that's about 1,800 kilometres away from the capital, Madrid, and 1,400, nearly 1,500 kilometres away from stage 4 and the first time the riders hit Spanish soil? I don't get it. Leave your comments down below and let me know why this is a thing. Is it money? Is it tourism? Have we run out of places to start in Spain? Really? Don't think so. Leave your comments down below and let me know. But anyway, the first 3 stages will take place in the Netherlands, in Utrecht, and we'll see a team time trial on the opening stage. Let's hope it's a little less eventful than the last one we saw at La Vuelta. Oh lads, slow down. Someone's filling up the pool. They've let water drip all over the bloody road. Now the sprinters will have 2 days to nail a victory on the flatlands of the Netherlands before what could potentially be a 3-week drag around the mountains of Spain without another chance of a bunch sprint until Madrid. Now there are 3 other potential flat routes, but looking at those, they could be prime for breakaway riders. And with that, let's take a look at a couple of other stages that the GC contenders will be pinpointing as they look for victory in La Vuelta. Listen, I'm sure there's more than just these 4 stages, but I've pinpointed stage 14 as the first real shake-up of that GC. Why, Chris? Well, you've got a second cat climb straight up into a first cat climb summit finish at Sierra de la Pandera. 1,800 metres of altitude at the top. Shouldn't affect the old lungs that much, other than, the fact that it's going uphill for a long period of time. But after that, we'll get a decent idea of who the movers and the shakers are as they move on to stage 15, which again, I mean, look at that. Sierra Nevada, Alto Hoy de la Mora, Monaquil. Just call me Jose, guys. But again, a HOR category climb, or however you say it in, an uncategorized climb, however you say it in Spanish, I'm not too sure. But you can see there, we're going up beyond 2,000 meters. So, that lack of oxygen up there, the thin air, will cause a few problems. Will we see the likes of Remco Evenepoel struggling up there, or will these riders have had time to have some decent altitude training? Primoz Roglic, for instance, obviously he was at Tour de France. He might not have got the altitude training in that he needed to really shine on this stage, and potentially he could struggle on this one. And then in between that and the next stage I'm pinpointing, obviously we've got, 3 other stages, and then we get to stage 18. Another summit finish, but only on a first cat climb this time, but it's the build up to it. You've got a second cat climb halfway through the stage, another first cat climb 3/4 of the way in, then you have got that summit finish. Again, it's only going up to 1,100 meters of altitude, but I think we've seen from the likes of the Tour de France this year, you don't necessarily need one of these uber high relentless mountains to put time into other riders. Bringing your team tactics here, like we saw with Jumbo-Visma. I can't remember what stage it was now at the Tour de France. They were, was it Primoz? It might have been Primoz and Jonas, or Jonas and Sepp Kuss. I can't remember now. Had Primoz gone by then? Whatever. Basically, they were spit roasting Tadej Pogačar, just going at him both ends. One would attack, he'd chase it down, the other would go. They were just obliterating him, and it could potentially happen here, because what we've got is not a mountain stage where everybody's reserved and waiting for that finish because they know they're going right up. It's a first cat climb, it's difficult, standard, but it's not that difficult to really sock it to the other riders. So potentially you might see some fireworks in this one. By the time we get to stage 20, who knows what's going to happen, but this one, you've got a first cat climb within the first, 20 kilometres it starts. I mean, it pretty much goes uphill from the off, but the climb itself doesn't start till 23 kilometres into the race, and then it's just up and down all day. Second cat climb, followed by another second, then you've got that first cat climb, then you've got not necessarily a summit finish because it goes up to the first cat climb, then it's what we got there, got 7 kilometres of draggy uphill finish, which is going to be quite interesting. So the parkour for this year's La Vuelta is certainly not flat, but would you expect that from La Vuelta? Not really. If I've missed a stage out that you think is going to be prime for these GC contenders, make sure you leave your comments down below. So by the time the riders have circumnavigated their way from Holland, or the Netherlands, sorry, transferred down to, here's a question. What do you think to these early transition days within a Grand Tour? We saw it at the Tour de France. The fact that the riders are only getting 3 stages in, one of them being a team time trial on this one. So you've got 2 flat stages before we take a break again and we all travel down to Spain. Do you think that helps the riders? Do you think it hinders them? Do you think it gives them a chance to reset? Because Grand Tours are renowned for being very nervous in the first couple of days. But does this give them like a bit of a feel that it's, it's a 3-day stage race before we get into the proper? Obviously anything can happen in those first 3 stages, but do you think there's a little less pressure on them because they know they get that break between the stages, or not? Do you think it'll be worse because the riders want to get into the rhythm, they want to get into the routine of the Grand Tour, and after 3 days they have to stop, reset, move, get to the next hotel before they can set off again? It'd be interesting to get each and everybody's thoughts on that one. But talking of the riders, who do we think are going to be making the podium as they head into Madrid at La Vuelta? Here's my opinion. Firstly, clearly, you can't look far past Primož Roglič. He was there at the Tour de France. Was he there as a leader? Looking back on it now, probably not, but obviously he didn't finish because of his injuries. He's a triple winner of this event and the reigning Vuelta champion. Yeah, after a shitty Tour de France, he'll be out to prove that he's still worthy of a leadership role in this team come June, July next year. But he's going to have his work cut out. We've got the likes of Jai Hindley going for a Giro Vuelta double, as well as literally any of the 8 team leaders that Ineos are taking. And then we've got Brandon McNulty at UAE Team Emirates. He's got a bit of free rein now. His commander-in-chief, Tadej Pogačar, isn't going to be there. So what can he do? Is he going to be the leader? Or is he going to be working for João Almeida? Who knows? It'd be pointless if he is. But beyond those, most people are touting Remco Evenepoel to be in with a shot of winning this year's Vuelta. And with the team he's bringing, as you can see there, Peter Serra, Alaphilippe, Remy Cavagna, Dries Devenants, Fausto Masnada, Ilian, I don't know him, or Louis, probably very skilled and highly talented riders. I'm just not clued up on everyone, all right? But that team is a strong team, absolutely no doubt about it. And there's everybody there is going to be working for Remco, and he's got everything he needs from those riders to make sure that he is in with a shot of winning this year's La Vuelta. But if he wins this year's La Vuelta, not only will it be his first Grand Tour victory, but the first Grand Tour he's ever actually finished. He competed in the Giro last year and only got to stage 17 or 18 before he left. I can't remember. Did he get injured? I can't remember. But either way, he's never made it to the end of a Grand Tour. Now, another man who's never made it to in fact, he's never made it to the start of a Grand Tour, and I highly doubt he'll be on the podium. At the ripe old age of 26, James Shaw will be making his Grand Tour debut. I, for one, am very excited. He just lives down the road from me. is a really nice chap. So I reached out to him on WhatsApp. I've got his number, so what? And here's what he had to say about his excitement at this year's La Vuelta.
Anyway, I'm bothered about doing the Grand Tour. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I am bothered. I am. Yeah, it's quite daunting actually, because I've only ever raced for like 8, 9 days before, so when I get to like 10, 11 days, I don't really know what to do. Sort of like, what happens after that? It's like the unknown, isn't it? Do I get to like day 10 and they say, you know, that's it, you've avoided the matrix, got to do something magical. So I don't really know what happens, like, or do they just tell you to carry on racing for another till you get to the finish line? Don't really know. But yeah, looking forward to it. Big, innit? Quite big, quite daunting, quite scary. I'm rooming with Esteban Chavez this week. Oh, this tall little smiley man, proper character. Just seen him. Saw him the other week in Burgos. I just seen him. He's had his Vuelta haircut. He shaved his head basically. It looks like he just got out of prison. No, he doesn't. He looks good. He's ready. He's ready. He's in form. I think he's gonna win. When there's a chicken dinner.
Great chatting to James Shaw. Always full of life, full of beans. Really is. He sounds ecstatic. He really does. But it is going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Someone who's never done the Grand Tour scene before. Like you said, he's only ever raced 8 or 9 days. He's got to do that again and then some once he gets to the end of those 8 or 9 days. But again, EF Education got a really strong team. You got the likes of Hugh Carthy there. Like he said, he's rooming with Esteban Chavez. Listen, this is editing Chris here. I can't be asked to refilm this, but I took the opportunity while he was rooming with Esteban to ask Esteban a very serious question in Spanish. And luckily for you and me, Esteban and James are both very good sports. Here's his reply. If you speak Spanish, please translate it because I have no idea what he said in this voice note.
Hey Chris, Esteban Chavez here. Fuck, that is a really nice question from your girlfriend. Estar con el tío que tiene la polla más pequeña del pelotón es muy tranquilizador porque sabes que por la noche, como es tan pequeña, no la sientes, tío, no la sientes. Qué cabrón.
If James is in the form he can be in, because without brown nosing him too much, one of the most underrated riders in the World Tour. He has had some shit luck. We've spoke about it before. He's been on the channel before. But someone like him deserves to get, not necessarily get a result here. If he can get anywhere near the top 10 in a stage finish, that's amazing, I think. But to be part of a team that does really well, I think for someone like James is paramount because he deserves to be in that World Tour. And I would hate to see him have to take a step back again when his contract ends, unless it gets extended with EF. But James, thank you for taking the time to talk to us here on the Chris Pritchard Show, cycling's #1 YouTube channel. And then finishing off for the algorithm, let's have a shout out for Chris Froome, starting his 21st Grand Tour, his 8th La Vuelta. Give us your opinions on Froome. He's too old to take victory at the GC. Prove me wrong, I don't care. I've got more chance of getting a date on Tinder than he's got of getting a stage win this year. I'll be happily proven wrong, but I don't think so. But hey, it's literally just for the algorithm. I just wanted to see what your opinion on Chris Froome was. Potentially, what stages could we be looking at for a potential Chris Froome victory? But you know, Israel Premier Tech are taking Daryl Impey, Carl Friedrich Hagen. Be nice to see how he gets on. If he gets a victory, that'd do wonders for this channel. Bloody wonders for this channel. Can't remember who else was going now. Hold on one sec. Patty Bevin and Michael Woods. Michael Woods potentially could be up there. Depends how his form is. But my question is, Chris Froome, is he capable of finishing what, top 10 in GC? He hasn't. But could he? Has he got a chance at a stage win? I don't think so. But you guys might. So leave your comments down below and let us know. Now, I'll have missed hundreds of facts out there. I don't even know how far they're travelling. About 3,300 kilometres, I'd say, something like that. They'd be climbing a lot. But there's lots of riders that have probably missed out. Riders from your home nations, let me know who you will be supporting at this year's La Vuelta. Who do you think is going to take victory? Give me your predictions for the top 3 of this year's La Vuelta. Anybody gets it right, I tell you what, just to encourage you, if anybody gets it right, I will give you some Hydrolyte sachets. Hydrolyte, not sponsored. They sent me some. I've been using it. It's all right. I'll send you some free of charge if you get the top 3 right at this year's La Vuelta. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've not done already. We're going to bring you all the latest news from La Vuelta when I'm back from annual leave, but we will have videos coming out next week. Don't worry about it. Look after yourselves, you sexy buggers, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios. Oh, I spoke Spanish.